Court will come to order. The Honorable Judge Boer presiding. Before we begin today's proceedings, allow me to introduce Prosecutor Kurt Brenalds, Special Counsel for Critics of the World. Also, it should be noted that Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, has pleaded no contest to being a bad movie, and is even now facing its sentence bravely.
No, please, me's are not a bad movie. Me's a good movie. Me's a Star Wars. No, please, no.
That said, counsel for the defense, you may proceed with your defense of the other two Star Wars prequels.
Thank you very much, Mr. Judge, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and viewers of the internet. I may also extend a very warm and gracious welcome to my opponent, Mr. Kurt Brenalds. I object to that. I haven't said anything for you to object to yet.
Sure you did.
I just welcomed you to cinema court and...
Yep, that's what I objected to.
Objection sustained.
Your Honor, I was just extending common courtesy.
And you can stuff your courtesy, Brady.
Your Honor, I object to the way that this man is addressing me.
Overruled since you started it, Mr. Fitch. You may proceed with your defense.
Alright then. There's very little more iconic than Star Wars. The original trilogy is considered by many to be a treasured masterpiece from which no greater sci-fi tale has ever been told. The prequel series that came out later, however, is considered by many to be one of the worst prequel series ever conceived by mankind. But is it really that bad? Well, let us take a look at one of the aspects that many people complain about the most, the storyline. The argument can be made that the Star Wars prequel trilogy's storylines are poorly written jokes, which is a rather unfair assessment, I believe, considering that we already knew exactly where they were going to go. Had we not seen the originals, which mentioned things like the Clone Wars and Emperor Palpatine's identity, we probably would have had enough intrigue and interest to guide the audience along and enjoy it more.
You fought in the Clone Wars?
Yes. I was once a Jedi Knight, the same as your father.
I'm looking forward to completing your training. In time, you will call me Master.
Plus, we already knew about Darth Vader's transformation from Anakin Skywalker, which is an intrinsic part of the prequel series.
Your father was seduced by the dark side of the Force. He ceased to be Anakin Skywalker and became Darth Vader. When that happened, the good man who was your father was destroyed.
However, although we knew the what of what happened to Anakin Skywalker, we never knew the why. Why did he transform into Darth Vader? And that is what the prequel series sets out to explain, by showing us the transformation of Anakin from a young bratty little kid who can't act to a bratty young adult who wants everything to be his way, and then to a bratty soon-to-be villain.
I can't do it, Mom. I just can't do it.
Honey. He's overly critical. He never listens. He doesn't understand. It's not fair.
I'm not gonna die in childbirth, Annie. I promise you.
No, I promise you.
So the storylines for Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith were already set in stone long before the filming ever began. But are they as poorly written as people say? I move to say that no. No, they are not.
And I object.
You object to what?
What you said.
You need some reason to object.
That's your opinion, Brady.
No, it's not just my opinion, it's also the rule of the court.
Fine. Here's the list. Choose one.
It doesn't work that way. You have to pick one.
Alright, let's see. Your face is stupid. There we go.
That has nothing to do with what I...
Order. While I sustain Mr. Brenalds' objection, I do so on the condition he provide evidence to support his claim.
Sure, fine. Alright, well, roll this crap.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Alright, so the writing's not all perfect.
Hold up, Brady, there's more.
I'm haunted by the kiss. that you should never have given me. My heart is beating, hoping that that kiss will not become a scar.
I agree, Lucas's love banter can be a trifle forced.
Yeah, it's good. It's golden even if you compare it to a festering pustule. Yeah, that's pretty bad. It's pretty good though. Yeah, good
Yes, we
stuff.
get the idea, but at least it improved in the next film.
Sure did.
You're so beautiful.
It's only because I'm so in love.
No. No, it's because I'm so in love with you.
So love has blinded you.
Okay, there was less of it. But it's not like the originals didn't have their own silly moments.
Yeah? I'll name one.
There were some, but back on track, there was this scene.
I'm pregnant.
That's... That's wonderful.
What are we gonna do?
We're not gonna worry about anything right now. All right? This is a happy moment. The happiest moment of my life.
Those two run the gambit of emotions there. First surprised joy, then fear, then determined contentment. That scene alone at least convinced me of a little bit of the talent. However meager it may be, there was at least a little bit of talent.
Ah, Jax. One good scene does not make a pair of male actors good. Suck it, Britty.
Objection and suck it sustained.
But luckily it's not all about that. Sure, you get the romance between Christensen and Portman, but it's not relegated to just that. What about Ewan McGregor? Ewan McGregor, who brings back some of the humor, the comedic relief, the intrigue, and the excitement and fun of the original series. You have to admit, that is what drew you in. That is the glue that holds together the entire movie series. Because Ewan McGregor, at least, is an awesome, and he does his damnedest with this great story.
You want to buy some death sticks?
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Blast! This is why I hate flying.
They are using a bounty hunter named Jango Fett to create a clone army. I have a strong feeling that this bounty hunter is the assassin we're looking for.
Oh, not good.
And not only that, but he's also present in almost every single awesome lightsaber scene, except for the ones including Yoda. Now the ones with Yoda, those go above and beyond what he did, because you get a different feeling as he jumps around and doing this fighting. I don't believe there is anyone who could say anything against the scenes involving Yoda.
Jax.
Except for him. What is it this time?
I jacked on the ground that my buddy here Brady's been blinded by CGI puppetry. See? Puppetry? He used to be a puppet, now he's just a CGI puppet guy. Yep, funny.
Not blinded, but able to respect.
Objection sustained.
I object to the objection! CGI effects are not worse than practical effects if used in moderation.
Hey Brady, think fast.
What the hell?!
That's practical effects for you. Now hit me with your CGI crap. Waiting.
It doesn't work that way!
Thought not.
Objection overruled, Mr. Fitch.
Okay, well, regardless of your preference on special effects, which, by the way, may I add that I like a mix of CGI and practical effects, but besides that, these movies still bring something to cinema. For example, Revenge of the Sith still had amazing, awesome lightsaber duels. And Attack of the Clones
I'll tell you what, Harry Brady.
I'm haunted by the kiss that you should never have given me. My heart is beating, hoping that that kiss will not become a scar.
That's not all it.
Sure it is. Think fast.
Ow!
Take that, CGI.
Your Honor, I object to the way that I've been treated in these proceedings. I cannot present a coherent defense in these conditions.
While Mr. Brenalds has acted within his rights as prosecution counsel, I will allow Mr. Fitch to speak his final words uninterrupted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen, you can rail against the Star Wars prequels as much as you want, but take this into consideration. Both trilogies are products of their time. The original trilogy features more of the qualities expected of the late 70s, early 80s movies, with amazing practical effects and more of a well-written story, rather than having the best action scenes. The prequel trilogy, by contrast, features more of a green screening effect instead of the practical effects, but also focuses more on the action and drawing in excitement that way, rather than focusing on storylines. However, for all their differences, the prequel series are not as bad as people make them out to be. The lightsaber choreography is 10 times better than the original series, and the acting's semi-decent in some points. At least Ewan McGregor, Ian McDiarmid, and Christopher Lee do an amazing job. And although nothing can touch the practical effects used for the amazing space battles in the original series, the prequel series with their green screening still manages to capture in some of that beauty and awe, or at least it does for me, that the originals did. And considering that these movies are product of their generations, what if the original Star Wars movie was not released in 1977? What if it was released in 1997 or 2007? It would match more along the lines of the prequel series' style rather than the originals. What if The Phantom Menace came out not in 1999, but in 1989, closer to when the originals came out? Its production style would be much more similar to what the fans were expecting. Would it have been as good as the originals? Perhaps not, but it would have been still closer to that feeling. Sure, the prequel series is not a groundbreaking, life-changing cinema, but just because they're different does not make them bad. Even the worst Star Wars film is watchable. It may not blow your mind, but parts of it will entertain you. Parts of it will make you enjoy it. And parts of it will remind you of the greater films that came before. Now what do you have to say to that, Mr. Brenalds?
Yeah, I object.
Screw you!
Objection sustained. Given the evidence, it is clear to me that the Star Wars prequels are guilty of failing to live up to the expectations and hype of the audiences watching. However, the degrees by which they fail vary by each movie. I sentence Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, therefore, to be cast into the Sarlacc pit, where it will learn a new definition of pain and suffering as it is digested over the next 1,000 years. By contrast, I commute Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, to being frozen in carbonite until such time that audiences are able to recognize its merits. May the critics have mercy on their souls. Court adjourned.
Echo 3, Echo 7. Over the drop zone. Bomb away.